Ask the average youth on the streets of Europe who Martin Schulz, Jose Barroso or Herman Van Rompuy are. There's a good chance not many will be able to answer. Those are also the reflections of a report which came out recently stating that youth absenteeism within European politics is at a serious high. And with the European elections approaching fast in 2014, there is a definite worry that that trend will continue. The report, which will be open to the public in early 2014, highlights a non-existent line of communication between politicians and youths. I asked a consultant for the report's authors, the League of Young Voters in Europe, what more the report says.
The report highlighted extremely low participation rates of young people to the European Parliament elections. So between 18 and 24-year-olds, only 29% voted. If we compare that to the age group above 55, 50% voted, which is a huge discrepancy in representation in the European Parliament. This shows that young people are under-elected and underrepresented at the European Parliament.
So who's to blame, the political groups or the youth themselves?
It's very much a two-sided problem. On the one hand, young people don't trust political parties, and in Europe as few as 2% are a member of a political party. On the other hand, political parties claim that young people are not interested in politics, and therefore they pay less attention to them in their communication methods and also in the campaigning that they do for elections.
But the Vice President for the European Parliament, Sorian Laszlo, isn't so sure. He says that the youth needs greater appreciation for the EU's achievements.
Our European Union achieved its aim. What was the aim? To create a Europe without war, to create a Europe with a sufficient supply of food. Now everything is over. For the young generation it means nothing. They don't know what does it mean a war, really. What does it mean? They should go to the previous Yugoslavia and ask the young Serbs and others, what does it mean that you are bombed?
But MEP Emilia Andersdotter, who is the youngest MEP in the European Parliament, doesn't buy the Vice President's reasoning.
No, listen, I'm born in the end of the 80s, so I don't remember the Soviet Union or the Cold War. And I don't remember the German reunification even. And I find myself walking around talking about internet politics in this house, telling my older colleagues that, listen, from the 1980s, there's many things maybe we want to preserve, but the Cold War isn't one of them.
So it's wrong then to assume that the youth just need to learn about the values of the European Union?
I think it's the old people that need to learn about the values of the European Union. I see absolutely no signs at present that there's anyone over the age of whatever, 35, that has a strong connection in the values of cooperation, peace through trade, and collaboration and communication across borders.
The habit of pointing fingers is a dangerous one to develop, and one that will only cause more problems in the future if it continues. But with youth participation needed in the elections next year, the responsibility should squarely fall on the shoulders of MEPs themselves, a responsibility that must be taken to avoid youth disillusionment in Europe in the future. This is Bjark Smith-Meyer for JN1 at the European Parliament in Brussels.